this, this is a big one. This is a review of the SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacle. It is their flagship speaker. And I am truly excited about it because, well, for a number of reasons, but I'll start with this. It is by far the least expensive speaker I have ever reviewed that's big. It's this kind, it weighs almost 100 pounds. Definitely the most affordable speaker, big speaker I have ever reviewed. Well, in a very long time. I'll go for that. So that right there is exciting. And you know, if a company knows about bass, it's certainly SVS. And this speaker delivers very substantial bass. Their spec is that it goes down to 24 hertz plus or minus 3 dB. That's pretty serious. And I will test that to my ability later on in this review. But let's just leave it for now that this speaker does bass. But it's not just a one-trick pony, not by a long shot. Oh, before I forget, yes, there will be an Audiophiliac viewer system of the day later on in today's show. All right, now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. All right, let's start with the tweeter. Now, it is a 1-inch dome tweeter, but it is no ordinary dome tweeter. First, because it is a diamond-coated aluminum dome tweeter. So it's a diamond coating to make it stiffer and stronger, less prone to break up. Now, as for the mid-rangers, there are two. They are 5 1/4 inch glass fiber cones. They have cast aluminum baskets. That's pretty snazzy. And these two drivers are operating within a sealed cabinet within the enclosure. So they are working as acoustic suspension drivers for you techies out there. And then the woofers. Now the woofers are 8-inch woofers. And they were also glass fiber. They have also glass fiber cones and cast aluminum baskets. And you see 2 of them on the front of the speaker. That's cool. But wait, there's more. When you look at the back of the speaker, you will see 2 more 8-inch woofers. And they are not, you might guess that they're passive radiators, but in fact they are active drivers. Take note, all the drivers are proprietary, meaning they were designed in-house by SVS engineers. As you may have noticed, there's bass ports on the back of the speaker, 2 of them. And so that means that this is a bass reflex design. But the drivers on the top and the drivers on the bottom are working in what they call a force balanced design. So the energy within the cabinet is canceled. They're working in phase. And to test that idea, I played music with a lot of bass, put my hands on the cabinet, and felt very little energy coming from the cabinet. That's happening, presumably, because the cancellation is taking place within the cabinet. The cabinet, by the way, is MDF. Now, the speakers are offered in 3 finishes: gloss white, gloss black, which is what I have, and I got to say the quality of the finish is absolutely impeccable. But if you don't want to deal with fingerprints, you can get the SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacles in real oak wood veneer. And all 3 finishes wind up landing at exactly the same price, $2,499 each. It's a very unusual company that they price their speakers in singles. But obviously most people are going to buy it as a pair, and to me that means that the Ultra Evolution Pinnacle sells for $5,000 or almost $5,000 a pair. That is still a very attractive price for a speaker of this quality. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention on the back there's a pair of bi-wire binding posts. When you look at the speaker in profile from the side, you will see that the front and rear baffles are not flat. No, they're at these angles. And in the front, they claim that that is for time alignment of all of the drivers. For the tweeter, the 2 mid-ranges, and the woofer, that the arrival times at the listening position, because of the distances are varied, will arrive at your ears at exactly the same time. I have no way to test if that's actually true, but that is certainly their intention. I'm going to show you the specs right now, but I'm going to point out once again, because that low bass spec, 24 hertz plus or minus 3 dB, that is seriously impressive. Other specs are it is a 6 ohm speaker, It weighs 97 pounds, and as I think I said before, the cabinet is MDF. Let's talk about setup. Now, I had these speakers over there at the other end of the room, and they were 9 feet apart, center to center. I was sitting 9 feet away from them, in other words, an equidistant triangle. That was the basic setup. Now, here's the thing. The center of the speaker, I think they call it the acoustic center of the speaker, is the tweeter, and that is 33 inches from the floor. That's pretty low. So in my listening chair, my ears were a good 7 or 8 inches higher than the tweeter was. And my chair is adjustable, but even in its lowest position, I was still higher than the tweeter. And I noticed that when I slouched over and leaned forward so my head was lower, I thought the sound just came together better when I was lower. So that's my experience. Now, as for the deep bass potential of these speakers, I wasn't getting 24 hertz. No, using test tones, it was more like mid 30 hertz range, but that's still really, really good. As for the amplifiers used over the course of this review, well, I used 3. And this time it's going to be a bit different. So I did use the Pass XA25 because I use that in almost every review. That is my standard. But I also used the First Watt J2 and the Mytek Brooklyn. Now the Mytek is way more powerful than the other two. The Mytek is 250 watts a channel into 8 ohms. It's a Class D amplifier. And I found that they do like to be played, even at average levels, louder than I normally do. They just came together more when I played them minimally at like 65, 70 dB for just basic listening level. That varied depending on the kind of music I was playing. They sounded better when I played them louder, and they sounded better when I played them even louder. As for playing them very quietly, I would say they're about average in that regard. They're okay, but they're no horn speaker. You know, a speaker that's 10 dB more sensitive, so a 98 dB sensitive speaker, has just more life to it. And by the way, I almost forgot. For the comparison speaker for this review, it will be the Klipsch OJAS KOR1, and that has a sensitivity rating of 97. So it's 9 dB more sensitive, and that is makes for a very interesting comparison. Other details, very important. The SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacle are sold direct from SVS, but also, very important, are sold through brick and mortar dealers here in the United States. If you have a local brick and mortar dealer, I would urge you strongly, well, see if they have it on display and you can hear it, but I would urge you to go and listen to it. You can't beat listening, you know, so definitely if you have a close by dealer, check it out. Oh, and yes, they do, of course, they have worldwide distribution, so wherever you are watching me, you can probably get this speaker without jumping through hoops. They do come with a 5-year warranty, and if you buy them in the United States, they do come with a 45-day return policy. You can try them at home for 45 days. Pretty cool. As for the sound, well, as you might have already figured out, this speaker makes a lot of bass, and not just the deep bass, it just makes bass. It is visceral, that energizes your room. Now, moving up from there, the mid-range sounds, I would say, a bit recessed. You know, it's not coming forward, it's going backward behind the speaker, and it's not as tactile or immediate as I like, but it's certainly beautiful sounding. Tonality is really nice. And as for that diamond tweeter, it is definitely not bright. It is very clear, it's very precise sounding, but it doesn't shout, and there's zero listening fatigue with this speaker. Oh, and the sound staging abilities are actually very good. They just open up. This may be a box speaker, but it does present a wide and deep sound stage. As for music, I started with this Johnny Winter live at the Fillmore East. I know that it's not all completely recorded at the Fillmore East. Some of it's recorded in other places. But anyway, it's an amazing recording. It captures that time. Johnny Winter was sounding or channeling Jimi Hendrix, who was still alive. This is from, I think, 1969. But anyway, it's a phenomenal recording of rock music in that period. No flash, you know, no synthesizers, just like rock music, the blues. It's awesome. And I was playing it loud. was it, like 90 dB peaks for me because I could, because I wanted to really push these speakers. These speakers were telling me over and over again, turn it up, Steve. Come on, man, turn it up. See what we could do. So I obeyed, and I'm really glad I did, because it was one of those, they scale. You turn them up, they sound bigger. You turn them up, they sound bigger. You have no sense of strain or they're holding anything back. No, they don't. They just keep going, Steve. Just give me more. And I certainly obliged. And, I didn't do this for hours. I did this for 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes, probably like 5 minutes, a song or two. And I was in heaven. I mean, that's what these speakers do so well. As I said earlier, if you want to listen quietly, if that's your thing, and I am one of those people, this isn't really the right one for you. To continue, I wanted to do that comparison. I was eager to do that comparison with the Klipsch OJAS speaker, the KO-R1, which is a horn speaker, as you can plainly see, two-way horn speaker. It sells for around $8,000, so it is definitely more expensive. But it is definitely a higher sensitivity speaker. It's 97 dB is the number versus 88 for this one. And the music was this one by the Conga Kings. This is jazz. This is Afro-Cuban music recorded in the late 90s, I believe, and live to 2-track, Chesky Records. I was there. I might have worked this session, or I was just present at the session, but it was smoking. I mean, you get all these percussionists, conga players, brass, bass. It was intense. And yes, I played it loud again. I played it loud over, first, the SVS speaker. And I was digging it. It had weight. It had power. It was definitely communicating to me. But when I switched over to the Klipsch OJAS speaker, it just sounded more alive. The transients just like jumped more. I mean, the percussion instruments just had more attack. I felt the energy coming off the percussion more. But the downside to the Klipsch OJAS speaker is that it's a smaller speaker, so it doesn't make anywhere the kind of bass that the SVS does. So they're different. Well, they're very different, I mean, they're doing different things. It's hard to say for everybody, oh, the Klipsch is the better speaker. No, I think a lot of you, if you heard this comparison sitting next to me, you would prefer the SVS speaker. Some of you would prefer the Klipsch OJAS speaker. There's no easy way to discern this. Now, if you said, I want it all, Steve. I want to have that. I want to have the energy of the Klipsch speaker, and I want to have the balls of the SVS speaker. What should I get? Say, well, you know what you should do? You should get the Klipsch La Scala AL6, because that just ups the energy level considerably over these two. And the bass is so big and fast, but not actually as deep as the SVS speaker. You'd add a sub, a really good sub, just sneak it in under the bottom of the La Scala, coming in at like 35, 40 hertz, and you would be there. But anyway, that speaker, the La Scala, is $15,000 a pair. So it's 3 times the price. It's not a fair comparison, and I don't have it here to compare. But I have had it here recently, and I can tell you it is staggering what it can do. Absolutely. But it's 15 grand. Oh, by the way, and when the Conga Kings played the Duke Ellington song, Caravan, it wasn't a big, loud production, but it was smoking. It just was simmering and moving and very mysterious. Well, beautiful it was over the Klipsch OJAS speaker. And when I switched over to the SVS, again, it lost some of that liveness, but it had more, let's say, soul to it, more strength behind it, more like, well, a real band. I played this Wilco album, the one with Jesus, Etc. That's the name of the song. And it's not loud rock music. It's beautiful music, very intimate music. And I love the way the Ultra Evolution Pinnacle handled Jeff Tweedy's vocal. He was like right there. The whole body, the whole person was there between the speakers. I think I'm ready to spill the beans with, so Steve, what do you really think of the SVS Ultra Evolution Pinnacle speakers? Well, it does come down to scale. If you have a big room and you play music loud and you currently are using stand mount speakers with subs or without subs, I'd say you're missing out. I say, you know, subs can do a lot, obviously SVS subs or anybody's subs, but when you hear a speaker, a complete speaker that can do most of the bottom end, or in this case, a lot of the bottom end, in your big room, you will know the difference. You've been missing out on a lot if you use a smaller speaker or a skinny, you know, tower speaker or something. Sorry, if you have a room, I'll just make up a number. If you have a room that's larger than, let's say, 18 by 20 or 24, something like that, right? A big room. If you have that and you like music to have some life to it, some energy, and you do have parties and you do play loud at times, you need a big speaker. There's no getting around it. And of course, silly me, if you do home theater and you play movies and you watch movies and using your sound system, well, that's kind of a natural right there, that this speaker can do that with or without a sub. You know, so especially if you do 2-channel home theater, which I used to write about a lot in my CNET days. Yes, these speakers in a 2-channel home theater, definitely. So anyway, I love the speaker. I love it for its strengths. I love it for its price. It's a lot of speaker for the money. So definitely gets a thumbs up from me. And now we will shuffle over to, you know it, you love it, the Audiophiliac viewer system of the day. Hey, these pictures come to us from Marcel. He is from the Baltic Sea coast in Germany. And his system is 50-50 home theater and music. The speakers are active. They are Neumann KH150s in the front, and the surround speakers are Neumann KH80s. The preamp, the AV preamp, is an Audiophiliac AVX17, and he's using room correction and DSP. The subwoofer amplifier is an IMG Stage STA2000D. Sources for all this are Apple TV 4K and an Oppo Dardi Blu-ray player. The projector is an Epson 9400, and the screen is pretty big. It's 3 meters wide. It's a high contrast screen. The 4 subwoofers are big. They have 55-liter enclosures with 12-inch Scan Speak Discovery drivers. The cabinets were all built by a carpenter. The drivers, crossover wiring, and foil wrapping were installed by Marcel. He's not done. He's going to add more speakers and more subwoofers before he's finished. The future plans include some Atmos additional speakers, also Neumann KH80s. Anyway, thank you so much, Marcel. Okay, we are back. My name is Steve Guttenberg. I am the Audiophiliac. Thank you for watching this video this far into it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, please subscribe and please hit the like button when you think I deserve it. But more important than those two, if you really want to support this channel, please consider joining my Patreon. To do so, super easy to do. The address is on the screen. Oh, and the other thing is, if you join my Patreon, you will get exclusive content. Check the site. The address is on the screen right now. You can join for a couple of bucks a month, up to $50 or even $100 a month. And if you join at those top 2 levels, you and I talk. You and I will talk deep talks, deep thoughts every month at the beginning of the month. Thank you again for watching, and I really do hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Bye-bye.